can't believe people still don't do this. Like, it's 2024. The fact that people still aren't doing the strategy is mind-blowing to me, because every single time we've ever helped a business implement it, their average job value increased by anywhere from like 20 up to even like 50%. I'm a big believer, like, just do it now. You guys have to be part of the statistics of the people that go off to actually make $50,000, $100,000 a season. What's going on, guys? It's Michael Pisco, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys a recording of a private coaching call I hosted where I showed people how to go from $0 to $100,000 this season, offering holiday light installation services. So whether you're a pressure washing business looking to make additional revenue this year, or you have an existing Christmas light installation business, or even if you have no business at all, this video is going to be super valuable for you because it's going to be showing you how to start the service business from scratch. Just a reminder, this recording was from a 4-day event that we've hosted, and we're actually going to be hosting one more free event this year showing you how to go from $0 to $100,000 with Christmas lights. So in this event, we'll be covering materials, equipment, how to do the service, how to price it out, and most importantly, how to actually get customers. So if you are potentially interested in adding this as a service this year, click the link in the description of this video to register for the event. It will be limited to the first 100 people that register, so make sure you guys register before it's too late, and I'll see you guys there. Now let's get into the video. So this is the 0 to 100K holiday light installations game plan. We're gonna give you guys the recipe. We're gonna tell you the how-to, the step-by-step, how to go from absolutely nothing and the tangible action steps you can take this season to get to 100K by the end of it. So like I said, we're going to go step by step. I broke it down into a few phases. The first being $0 to $10,000. This is preseason. This is before you ever even put up your first installation. There's absolutely no reason why you guys can't make at least $10,000 even before putting up a single light, even before buying lights if you really wanted to. Obviously, everyone's decision in regards to that is different, but $0 to $10,000 should be very doable, even with no marketing budget. Well, I mean, we showed you guys the how this week, but I'm going to show you this action steps you guys can take to make that happen. But for starters, and again, this is all the stuff we covered this week, just compiled into a tangible action step for you guys. I'm going to share this document with you guys, so you don't need to take notes right now. I'm going to send this to every single one of you guys to refer back to later. And this is for anyone that's just starting out. I know some of you guys literally have nothing, no marketing budget, or you're just getting started, no previous customers. Some of you guys are beyond that phase and you can already jump up to the next levels. But this is, again, we're starting from 0, absolutely nothing, to 100K. So for starters, squeeze the juice out of your friends and family. Reach out to all your friends, all your family, people that could actually use your type of services, and follow the prospecting script that we shared with you guys. I'm not going to go over the script again because we already did that this week. But again, you guys have access to the script. Use the script, contact everyone that you possibly can, and offer your services to them. Next up is post on every single social media platform for free. There's tons of platforms that are free. You might as well be on every single one of them because it's not costing you $1. It might cost you some time, but again, you're recycling content. So let's just say one image, you can take that one image that, let's just say, it took you 5 minutes to edit it, put it together, and it's ready to go. That one image can go on Facebook, Instagram. You can even put on TikTok if you want to, with some music over, or just a slideshow of images. But you can use that for YouTube, same thing as I just said with TikTok. Put on Twitter, which is now called X. Put on your Google My Business, your Yelp page, your LinkedIn, your Nextdoor. Craigslist, I think you still need to pay like $5 to post, but I mean, it's $5, that's nothing. Get that post everywhere and try to be posting on your social media platforms like every single day. It's a free platform, it's free eyeballs, free attention on your business. There's really no reason not to leverage that every single day. So try to post at least once per day. It'll probably take you 20 minutes to make it and post on all these platforms, so take advantage of that. And in terms of content, again, without diving too deep because we covered this stuff already this week, personal videos that show you. People buy from people, so they want to see you're a real person. So if you can be in front of the camera, energetic, fun, the type of person they want showing up at their house, they're much more likely to buy from you. If you look very scary or just very negative in the videos, like, they're not going to want to buy from you. So keep that in mind. Try to be someone that they would want showing up to their house. Using testimonials or reactions of customers is really great. We talked about this, I believe, yesterday or the day before. Professional images of past projects or examples of possible projects. If this is your first season, you don't have past projects, reach out to other businesses, maybe not in your area, or, basically reach out to other businesses and see if they have images that you can use. If you guys reach out to us, like, we'll share stuff with you, but use images of what you could do. You're not claiming it as your own. You're just, saying this is a type of project you can do. But if you have your own content, obviously use your content, make it very professional, and then have special offers in your post and clear call to actions. We talked about this Tuesday, I believe, using special offers and being very clear with the next step if someone is interested. So have a clear call to action. And again, that's one call to action. Don't get them confused by trying to add in your phone number, your email, your website, all these different things. Give them one clear call to action. All right, next we have Facebook groups. This is a great strategy. We already talked about it. Join every single Facebook group possible. In some markets, you might only have 40 to 50 groups that you can join, but in most you have at least 100, if not more. Join every single possible Facebook group you can and post your services in there. Some allow you to post on Monday, some Friday, some over the weekends. It's different for everything. So I would probably suggest come up with a spreadsheet, have the days listed, and then which groups you can post on which days, and then organize it that way. But absolutely, it's free to post in groups, and all of your, in like hundreds, thousands of your customer avatar in those groups. That's where they're hanging out. People are very active in there. So you got to get your business in there. So definitely follow that strategy. The giveaway, we already shared the template with you guys, the giveaway template. It's free to post a giveaway. You're going to obviously give away your services, so you might have to lose out on a few $100s in time and materials, but you can get a lot of free leads doing this strategy without diving too deep, because we already talked about this yesterday. With the giveaway, you're basically you're posting everywhere, getting tons of applicants. You're getting 100+ people that apply, and every single person that applied is a potential customer because they want to win the service, which means they want the service. So reach out to all of them, offer a discount. They don't win the giveaway, but they get some type of discount, and so you'll get some customers from that strategy. And then start planting the seeds on local partnerships. Miguel talked a lot about this, and it's a great strategy as well. Offer discounted services to leave your marketing materials there. Have some type of partnership where maybe they get commission from referrals or stuff like that. But just build those relationships. And real estate agents was a really good one that Miguel spoke about as well. Usually if you have a good relationship with a real estate agent, they might bring you multiple jobs. So if you have tons of relationships with real estate agents or property managers, anything like that, that should bring you, some work here and there. And you have multiple of those relationships, then that's multiple people feeding work into you. Up next is door knock. So door knock in the higher income neighborhoods. Don't waste your time in neighborhoods that, they're going to be low ticket jobs. Like, go to the best neighborhoods in your area, and that's where you want to be offering your services. Follow the 3-tier pricing strategy to achieve higher close rate and higher average job value. This is like a no-brainer. I can't believe people still don't do this. Like, it's 2024. The fact that people still aren't doing the 3-tier pricing strategy is mind-blowing to me, because every single time we've ever helped a business implement it, we literally saw their close rate increases because now they're able to give more options and people are attracted to more options. Instead of being, if you give one price, it's a yes or no question. Do you take it or do you leave it? If you have 3 prices, now it's, do you want option A, B, or C? It's no longer do you want it or not. It's just which one do you want? So the close rate increases because of that, but also your average job value is going to increase as well. Like, every single business we've ever helped implement, their average job value increased by anywhere from like 20 up to even like 50%. So it's just a no-brainer. If you guys aren't doing that, implement it literally right now, overnight. Collecting deposits. So we talked about this a lot. Collect deposits, start doing sales now. Like, it's August 1st. You're not going to be putting up lights this month, but there's no reason why you're not selling thousands of dollars worth of jobs this month. So close deals and collect deposits from your customers. I know you guys mentioned in the last call that in some states, the requirement in terms of how much deposit you can take is a little different. So keep that in mind and do your research, but collect as much of a deposit as possible. Anywhere from 25 to 50%, just collect as much upfront as possible. Really, people are going to have no problem doing this if you explain why they need to do it or why it makes sense to do it. So they get priority booking. They might get a discount by doing this. There's tons of benefits that we talked about this week that you can use as an angle to it. But if you're closing, let's say, anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, then you should be able to get a few $1,000s worth of deposits and cash through the door, which you can now reinvest into materials or marketing. I recommend marketing, put it into marketing, get more work, and then invest into materials. But whether you have a safety net for material and some for marketing, it's up to you guys. So if you're going to start your advertising around now, so July to August, September, some people wait until end of August or middle of September or beginning of September to advertise. I'm a big believer, like, just do it now. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is today. So start your advertising as soon as possible. But what I just mentioned is collect deposits and then reinvest it into materials and marketing. So let's just say you get $5,000 in deposits, and that's based off of, to keep it simple, $10,000 worth of projects. From those projects, the materials is going to cost you, let's just say, $3,000. Save that $3,000 or go ahead and buy the materials already, but probably just save it for now. Take the remaining $2,000 and just put that towards marketing. Now that $2,000 might get you back $10,000, $20,000 worth of sales. Now you take a cut from that, repeat the same process, some of it towards materials, some of it towards marketing. So you always have that safety net to buy your materials for the amount of projects you actually have booked, but you also have money that you're now putting towards marketing, and that's continuing to grow throughout the season. So if after all is said and done, you only have a budget of like $500 left for your marketing, there's one of two things that I would recommend. I think $500 in Facebook ads could be super effective if the ads perform well. $500 could generate $5,000, $10,000 worth of work, but I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you're very confident in the ads themselves. If this is your first time messing around with digital marketing, you're not, too tech savvy, if you don't have like much training, I think it's very easy to burn through money. So I think it might be too dangerous to go that route. But again, if you feel like very confident in what you put together and the ads look good and you've seen competitors' ads and you feel like your stuff is better than theirs, then definitely try out ads. I would say $500 towards ads or $500 towards yard signs. Yard signs, I'd say get about 50 yard signs and then some postcards or door hangers. You can see at 50 yard signs, that'll probably cost you, I think, what's the going rate for that, Miguel, right now?
So yard signs, last I checked, you can get 100
Like
yard signs for anywhere from $300, $400.
Okay, so get 50 to 100 yard signs and then whatever's left over, postcards or door hangers, essentially stuff you can leave at people's house when you knock on doors, when you're speaking with people, you go out to give estimates. Facebook, depending on the time of the season, it's also dependent on what is more effective. So Facebook ads right now is more effective because if you were to put out yard signs right now, there's some people that see it, but they're not too interested in Christmas lights yet. But if you were to put out that same exact yard sign in like let's say November, you might get 5 times, 10 times the amount of results you would get now. And then Facebook ads works now as if you can create that demand. But again, I would say play it safe depending on whether you feel confident in your ads or not. If you have $1,000 or more remaining to put towards your marketing, then do all of the above. Do Facebook ads, probably about half the budget towards Facebook ads, some of it towards yard signs. Get t-shirts as well. If you can look professional when you go out and do quotes and then do the projects and getting content and videos and all that stuff, if you're wearing a shirt and looking professional, that makes a big difference. So get t-shirts for yourself and any employees if you have any. And by the way, with this 0 to 100K strategy, I'm recommending one employee, you and one other person. That's all you need to make 100K this season is one other person. I'm going to show you guys how. But get a t-shirt for yourself and that person. And then with what's left over, get postcards or door hangers. You can get both if you have the budget for it, but definitely get some type of physical material you can share. And then prioritize calls. This is a big one. Like once people start to get leads, I see it so often where people don't answer their phones. You might be on a project, so you can't answer your phone. You'll get back to it later. But by the time later comes, they've already called another company. So prioritize people that call you and leads that come in. Have a notification turned on. I know some guys will have like AirPods in so they can hear like when a call or a text is coming in, but have your device on you. If it's your Apple Watch, even I've seen people do that. But as soon as you're getting a call, you need to answer those calls because as soon as someone calls you and you don't answer, they're going on to the next business. So that's super important. I'm mentioning that now at the early stages because as you scale up and things get super busy, if that's not already a habit you have, then you're going to miss out on so many opportunities because of it.
To your point, you had mentioned yard signs. So me speaking on the rates that they're going for and whatnot, I actually went ahead and copied and pasted a link, which is from UZ Marketing. I'm sure some of you have already heard of UZ Marketing, but we were actually very fortunate to partner up with UZ Marketing and build out a bundle. Ironically, the bundle was built out mainly for exterior cleaning companies, but with most of the things or all of the things that the bundle comes included with, may be worth looking into that if you have the budget for it, because you're going to get the shirts, yard signs, some refrigerator magnets, and door hangers, and a couple other things. If not, if budget's a bit on the tighter end, I would focus a little bit more on the yard signs.
Yeah, honestly, I forgot they even gave us this bundle. You get basically a bunch of stuff for discounted. So this is actually perfect. Like this gives you 5 shirts. If you have one employee, you get 3, they get 2. So that way you have like extras for the next day. So you don't need to wash every day. It comes with the door hangers. It comes with the magnets, which is something I'm going to suggest later on. So it might be good to get this later in the season or right off the rip, depending on your budget. But later in the season, it would make sense because I also suggest magnets and the yard signs are included and an A-frame too, which is another really cool thing that you guys can use. Basically, you put it like in the sidewalk or something, it'll have some type of caution. And then you mention the service that's going on. So if people see that, they're going to stop, they're going to read it, see what's going on. And then they're going to see some type of call to action. Again, you can have a QR code even because they're going to be in a phone distance where they can take a picture of it and scan it. But yeah, so you guys can go that route if not just getting the 1 yard sign or the postcards. Appreciate you bringing that, Miguel. I forgot we even had that deal from them. And then last thing to take into consideration at this stage is setting objectives, knowing what you want to do this season, being intentional with every single week. Again, if you are playing darts and you don't have a board in front of you, you just throw a dart, it's going to hit something, but it's probably not going to hit what you're trying to hit. You have a board in front of you, it's very clear what you're trying to hit, and you'll be more likely to hit that. So set objectives before the season starts. So this is kind of like just a general guideline. If you want to do 100K, if you were to make it super simple, you basically have 10 weeks from October 1st to, I think it's the 10th of December is 10 weeks. That's exactly 10 weeks. If you do $10,000 per week, that's $100,000 in sales. Obviously, you can do sales beforehand, but I just mean in terms of fulfillment production, like when you're actually getting the work done. So if you're doing 10K per week, honestly, it's not that much work. Like if you ask any installer, some of them do that in a single day. But let's say it's your first season or you're still on a smaller scale trying to level this up. If you do 5 days of work a week, you have one helper with you and you're doing $2,000 worth of jobs a day. So that's 1 to 2 jobs a day. And again, these are averages. So some days it might be 1,500. You might have a day that's 3,000. But averaging out, if you're doing 5 days a week of $2,000 worth of jobs a day, that's $100,000 by the end of the season. It's really not as complicated as people make it out to seem. It's simple. It's not easy. Obviously, it requires a lot of hard work, but it really is simple. And so break down what every single week, every single day needs to look like and try to shoot for that and make that actually happen. And then, like I said, I suggest if you're just going for 100K, honestly, you only need one person. You can hire more if you want to, but really you don't need to. Like 100K with Christmas lights over 10 weeks is really not that much work. But I do recommend having at least one helper. So you'll still be on lead, but have someone assisting you. You can pay them. Again, this is going to be different market to market. Some markets, the typical wage is way lower. Some it's way higher, compared to California versus somewhere like Texas. But whatever your market is, just try to be on the higher end of the hourly rate. Again, this isn't necessarily for someone leading a crew. This is someone just assisting you. So you can get by paying them a bit less. So even if it was like $25 an hour or something like that, at the end of the day, you're paying them roughly give or take $250, but you produced $2,000 worth of work that day. So at the end of the season, that's 10% labor cost, which is great. Now, keep in mind, this is with you also working. So 10% of the labor rate for a massive company would be amazing. In reality, that's because they have tons of employees. So once you're off the truck, you're no longer doing the jobs, your labor rate is going to be way higher. But since you are doing the work, you can expect a lower labor rate of about 10%. Obviously, you're going to have takedowns as well. So you need to take that into account. You're going to have, a month after January, we need to take down all the projects you've done and you're not making revenue at that time. I mean, you could be, we'll talk about that later, how you can make money, but let's just assume you're not making money at that time, but you still have labor costs. So take that into account. That's probably going to be another 5% for takedowns. The reason being is, let's just say it takes you 4 hours to do an install and 2 hours to do that takedown. If you're doing 10 weeks worth of work at, during the season, then after the season, when you're doing takedowns, let's just say it'll take 5 weeks. 5 weeks is very long, to be honest. It'll probably be, if you're doing 10 weeks worth of work, it'll probably be like 3 to 4 weeks worth of takedowns. But to be conservative and make sure you budget accordingly, save 5% for worth of labor costs for the takedowns as well. And at the end of it, you're going to be 15% in labor costs, most likely somewhere around that mark. And then another little thing you can do is add on a bonus for the end of the season. This is one of those things that will get them to want to stick around for the entire season, because they know, if I just stick around for another 4 weeks, 6 weeks, let's just say hypothetically they're not too happy with the work. If you give them this bonus at the end of the season, then that's going to give them that motivation to keep showing up, not get fired, but also show up and not quit before the season ends. Now, we could talk hours about ways you can satisfy your employees to get them to want to work with you for long term, but that's just one easy thing to do, and money motivates basically everybody. So that's 0 to 10K. I know it's a lot. I'm going to share this document with you guys so you can review it on your own time. But honestly, there's a lot that goes into it, but all of it is simple. It's boring. It's very simple, but it's boring. So that's why people don't do it. But the recipe is in front of you guys. Like, this is exactly what you need to do to get to that marker. If you do it, you will succeed. If you don't do it, if you don't put in the work, then you won't. It's as simple as that. All right. Now we got phase 2. This is 10 to 50K. Again, I'm just kind of ballparking these numbers. It's not an exact science for everybody, but I would say this is typically what you're focusing on at this point in terms of the season. So let's go with, we'll do these lines first. Okay, this is the point where it's probably the season is actually starting up. You're starting to do jobs and things are starting to get busy. So you need to be organized with your time. If you've already collected about 10K worth of sales, then I do recommend getting a CRM. CRM is only going to cost, depending on the CRM you use, anywhere from $50 to $200, depending on which CRM you go with. Get a CRM. It's going to make things so much more organized. It's going to make sure you don't let anyone slip through the cracks. If you have just one customer that you would have missed throughout the entire season that would have booked a job with you, but this CRM helps you salvage that, then it already pays for itself. So I recommend getting a CRM, and then you can also automate a lot of your communications. Book preseason jobs for as early as October 1st. So try to get your jobs in as early as possible. If you've done this in previous years, then get your repeat customers to book as early as possible. If you could do September, amazing. If not, at the very least, anyone should be open to doing October 1st. Try to get those jobs done as soon as possible. The reason being is you want those lights up and you want to get your foot in the door in that community. The sooner the better, so you have more time to market there. But as soon as you do a job there, you're going to leave yard signs there, you're going to door knock in the neighborhood, you're going to leave door hangers at all the houses. We're going to talk more about that in a second, but try to get these jobs booked for as early as possible in the season, and then get content at every single job. Again, at this point, you should have the professional shirts. So you should be showing your people, your assistant or yourself in the content, showing people behind the business wearing the shirt, but also the project itself, the reactions of the customers, like we talked about. And we talked about that a lot on our call, I think yesterday or Tuesday. So make sure you guys are getting content from every single job. Like I said, once a project is complete, leave a yard sign at their house. What's going to happen is overnight, people are going to realize, oh, this house now has lights, and they're going to see your yard sign. They're going to know it's you that put up those lights. And so if they are interested in one-upping their neighbor, they're going to contact you. They're going to know they can't do the service you guys provided. So if they put up lights, it's just going to look bad compared to their neighbor. So they're going to be more likely to call you guys. But if you don't have your yard sign there, they have no idea how to contact you. And so they'll just wait till they find some other company. So leave a yard sign, knock on every single door right when you finish that job, and let them know, like, hey, and even name drop. If you're obviously going to know the name of the homeowner, say, hey, you know Susan, right? Susan right over here. Drop the last name, whatever information you have. They're probably going to know them, be like, awesome. So we just put up their lights. We're, going to do some projects here in the neighborhood as well. So I figured I'd just check in and see if maybe you guys were interested in the service. We have scripts on this too. So we'll share this in the Facebook group. If you guys want to, just drop a message in the Facebook group as a reminder and we'll send it in there. But door knock on every single house. If the homeowner answers, try to be quick. Try to get their quote right away. Try to get their job booked right away. Try to be very quick with it. And again, that's so you can get more yard signs in that neighborhood and further ingrain yourself in that neighborhood. If you're not able to do it, if they say, it's too early or I'm not interested right now, maybe later, then that's fine. Try to get their information. Try to get their name, phone number, and email. The more information, the better. So just try to get those three. And then obviously you already know their address, so just jot it down. But what you can do, if you have a CRM, you put it into your CRM, you add them to an automated sequence, and they're going to get a text or an email maybe a week later, maybe 3 weeks later, an email every week showing them your services, projects you've done, educating them on why it makes sense to use your services. So eventually they are going to respond and say, hey, I think now is a good time. I am interested. If you don't have a CRM, again, do this manually. Like you can definitely do this manually and save the money in the CRM, but it's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you time. So it's whether you want to spend the money on it or spend the time. But you can definitely do it manually. It's just going to cost you some time. And then if no one answers, just leave some materials at their house. And then you can return to that neighborhood maybe a week later. After a week, they've already seen that house multiple times. They've probably seen your yard sign multiple times. So if you knock on the door and they do answer this time, then great, you get foot in the door to speak with them. If they don't answer, then you can at least leave another marketing material. So now you're hitting them with two materials. They had maybe a door hanger a week before. Now a week later, they're getting a postcard or something like that. So don't just give them the same exact material again, because they're going to do exactly what they did last time, put it somewhere, throw it out. But if it's different, then they're going to look at it a little deeper, see if it's something else. But definitely change it up. Don't just give them the same exact materials.
Real quick, Michael, I know we're somewhat on a time crunch, but I kind of want to add on to that. Whenever we do any kind of job, if we're not leaving a yard sign or even leaving any kind of marketing material, even like knocking on the neighbors' doors, like we're doing ourselves like a huge disservice, because like we're leaving our best kind of sales ammo like on that actual home, where like the neighbors are now seeing like your end result and like they love it because of all the work and effort that you put into it. If you don't have any kind of your marketing material to showcase the business that was responsible for this, they'll see that, they'll want it. And since they don't have anything that's yours, they're just going to go onto Google, type in holiday light installation companies. And if you're not ranked number one, guess what? The work that you put in, somebody else is going to pretty much capitalize off of that because you didn't while you were out there.
Exactly. Next up was the referral program. I know we're kind of short on time, so I'm going to just jump through this. And guys, we're probably going to go on another 15-20 minutes. So if you guys can stay on, awesome. I want to give you guys all the value. If not, then no worries. It was awesome having you guys. But we're going to dive right back into it. So the referral program, we talked a lot about this already, so I won't talk too much about it. Building your Google My Business, we talked about this a lot as well. Get a ton of 5-star reviews, post 2 times per week, use keywords. You're not going to get anything out of it for this year, maybe a little bit, but in reality, you're probably not getting much from it. But next year, you will start ranking higher. And eventually, this might be the thing that, without spending money, is bringing you 2, 3, 4 leads a day from just Google. Continue doing the free strategies from phase 1. This is dependent on how busy you are. Like for some people, the stuff that, the referrals, the word of mouth or door knocking, stuff like that, that might keep you so busy where you don't need to post in Facebook groups as much or do some of those more tedious tasks. But if you're not as busy as you want to be, then stick to the basics. Those were already working. That was getting you work. So continue doing those basics and doing it consistently, and then start scaling up. So obviously it's dependent on your situation. If you're already blowing up without increasing your marketing, just from the marketing already doing, you're scaling, then that's great. If you're not scaling as aggressively as you'd like to, but you have the profit margin to be able to scale, then increase your marketing budget. So figure out your return on investment for each strategy. So for the yard signs, for the Facebook ads, for anything else that you might be doing, figure out for every $1 how much you're getting out of it and see where you're getting the best return on investment, and then double down on that strategy. So for example, if Facebook ads is getting you a 10x ROI and yard signs are getting you an 8x, honestly, that's close enough where it makes sense to double down both of them. But let's just say the yard signs are only getting you a 5x return on investment, then maybe put, let's just say 60% of your new budget towards Facebook ads and then a lesser amount, 40% towards yard signs, or more towards Facebook, less towards yard signs. But definitely double down on whatever's getting the best results. If you're scaling up your Facebook ads, then make sure you guys are also adding in new creatives so you don't get creative fatigue. If you have like one video and you're just starting to flood more money towards that, it's going to get ad fatigue. It's going to get hit by the same people over and over again, which at first is good because that's remarketing, but eventually like they'll get annoyed of seeing the same thing 10, 15, 20 times. So make sure if you're scaling up, you're starting to use new creatives. And then another thing is from each marketing strategy, you can do this, but Facebook ads specifically, eventually you'll get the groove of like how much you need to spend to acquire one customer. You know, for every time you spend $50, you get one customer. So if you're trying to get one customer a day from Facebook, then spend $50 per day. If you're trying to get 2 jobs a day just from Facebook, spend $100 a day. So that's the cool thing about Facebook. It's scalable. You can increase very quickly, but you can also predict what type of revenue you can expect from it just based on past data. So figure out what your cost per acquisition is. And then if you want to get 1 job a day, 2 jobs a day, 3 jobs a day, whatever it is, just spend that much per day. And that's what you can typically expect on average. If yard signs are working best, buy more. So if yard signs are what's moving the needle more for you, and then deeper into the season, yard signs will pick up a lot more. So if yard signs are working best for you, buy more of that and start testing different variations. So you'll have one variation that says Christmas light installation, one that says holiday light installation, one with just the phone number, one with the phone number and a QR code. You can try just a single color yard sign. You can try multicolor yard sign like holiday colors. So you can try out different variations, but one, you can test it to see which one's more engaging. But also people might think you're a completely different company than the other yard sign they saw for the holiday lights. So they might, you know, if they didn't react to that one, they might react to this one knowing it's a new company and maybe they've spoken with you already, so they'll try this one. And then they realize it's the same company. They're like, all right, I might as well just go with you. It seems like you guys are everywhere. Last thing is continue buying traditional materials and potentially materials to leave. So customer retention, again, this is not going to be to capitalize for this year, but it's to capitalize on next year and start planting those seeds. Give them stuff either when you go out and do the jobs or at the end of the season when you're doing takedowns, but give them stuff that they can keep, such as magnets, pens, bag clips, stuff like that. Honestly, if you don't have it during the season and you order it towards the holidays, so then you can give it to them in January, that's fine. But if you can give it to them during the season, that's even better because they might have a friend who asked for it and they can just go to the refrigerator really quick, see your phone number, or maybe they have someone over their house, they see that. But yeah, if you can have it during the season, it might be possible to get a higher rate of referrals from your customers. So try to get those stuff out to them. And then phase 3. So honestly, at this point, this is everything you need to scale to 100K. It's just doing more of what's already working. Like if you can see a recurring theme here, it's not doing things differently. It's just doing more of it. Honestly, it's super simple once you get to this marker. Double down on what's working and scale aggressively. One of the biggest issues I see is people scared to double down and scared to invest, you know, going from $500 to $1,000 in ad spend, or $1,000 to $2,000, or, you know, things like that can be scary. And that's why some people don't grow as much as they could because they're scared to make the investment. But try to approach it not from an emotional standpoint, but a logical standpoint. If you have data from 4 weeks where consistently you're putting in $1 Facebook ads, getting $10 out, or $1 into yard signs, getting $10 out. You have data, that's real data, not just making up, not emotional decision, but logical data. Then just make the decision to double down on that, knowing you're probably going to get about the similar results. Maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more, but use logical data to make decisions. Don't make decisions based off of the emotions. The season is short, so that's especially why I emphasize this, because before you know it, it's going to be over. As soon as you start to get busy, before you know it, the season's already done and you just missed out on, you know, whatever opportunity to capitalize on it because you were too scared to reinvest and double down. So make sure you guys make decisions quickly and scale aggressively while doing off of data, not emotion. You know, don't get super excited because things are going well and then spend tons of money on yard signs or Facebook ads just to find out that later when you check the data, they weren't actually as profitable as you thought. So again, it can work both ways. Know the numbers. Like I said, biggest bottlenecks I see at this stage are slow to make decisions or make investments, and efficiency with projects in terms of just like having someone reliable to help you, having employees and turnover. So trying to get new employees. But again, if you pay good and then you have that bonus structure and also just treat them well, make sure they're happy with the work they do, you only need one person. Like you need to keep one person for 10 weeks, honestly. Like, it's really not that difficult. I hear people have problems with it, but if you have a good competitive salary, honestly, more than competitive, like pay them above what any of your competitors are, and then have a bonus where if they stick around to the end, they get this big bonus, like $1,000, $2,000, and then give them little stuff throughout the season, gift cards, presents for Christmas, whatever, but just make them feel like very happy in the work they're doing. Then you shouldn't have issues with employees and turnover. But yeah, if you guys can solve, not necessarily solve, but be on top of these things, these concepts, these types of decision making, then there's absolutely no reason why you don't, 50K to 100K. It's not a big difference. It's not a big leap. It's just doing more of what you already did. Whatever made you $50,000, just do all that again. So that is 0 to 100K. And then just some things to take into consideration for postseason. So make sure you guys got 5 stars from every single review. The worst thing I see is when people have a super busy season, it goes amazing. And then once January hits and they're done with takedowns, they're resting, they're going on vacation, they're just not thinking business at all. And so all the customers that were super happy with the service and would have left an amazing, the best 5-star reviews they ever would have gotten, instead they waited months, and then when they finally got it, the customer lost that emotion. They were super happy and super content with the service when they had the service, but now months later, they don't even remember that feeling they had very much. They just know it's a good service. So capitalize when their emotions are at its highest. Try to get reviews right after doing the install, when that's like when their emotions at its highest. Conduct takedowns and offer your other services. So when you're doing takedowns, you should be trying to offer more services. You should still be trying to capitalize and make money at this time in January. So if you don't do any other services, that's fine. Offer for them to sign up for Christmas lights again, but instead of paying $1,000 all at once next year, they can pay $100 a month for the next 12 months. The way I would even phrase it is that, nowadays, most people, they don't want to get, have one big payment at the end of the year. They'd rather just do a monthly payment plan and make it very easy to pay off over time. So would you be interested in just doing a payment plan? Most people are open to that because $100 a month is not too bad when you compare it to $1,000 all at once. And again, I'm just making up numbers obviously with that, but break it down into 12 payments, do that over the course of the year. You're going to have revenue throughout the whole year, but you're also going to guarantee that they end up doing work with you next year as well. And then for the people that don't want to do it, that's fine. You can always try to get deposits from them closer to the season. But for the people that do it, there's many reasons that they would do it, like priority scheduling. You could give discounts, whatever benefits you guys want to do. But do that if you can. If you do offer other services like pressure washing, this is the time to sell them on those services. Offer some type of discount if they do that service with you, and then book them in advance, collect a deposit on that again. So you're making more money in January again, and then you collect the remaining balance once you actually do the service once weather permits. But you should definitely be capitalizing on this time when you're back at their house to make more money. And then just calculate your numbers, know what your numbers look like, know your revenue, your expenses, your profit percentage, your labor percentage, overhead percentage, figure out everything, review all your numbers. So then when you're going into next season, you have an idea of what everything looks like, and then you can make smarter decisions based off actual past data. So with that being said, hopefully this was valuable for you guys. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm sure you noticed some things we discussed were pretty vague, and that's because we touched on it in a previous day during this event. So once again, if you guys did want to register for the event, it's a free 4-day event where we're covering materials, equipment, how to do the service, sales, marketing, and doing a Q&A. It's completely free, but it is capped at the first 100 people. So click the link in the description if you want to attend that event, and I'll see you guys there. See you in the next video.